Hi friends, welcome to KMAD GATE's education. The first question is inductive reactance of a transformer depends upon. The given options are electromotive force, magnetomotive force, magnetic flux and leakage flux. So we know very well about the transformer operation. So this is a transformer core, right? So I have a transformer winding. Suppose if I have a supply voltage, so the first existing current is a magnetizing component of the current. First existing current, it is only 2 to 5%. Okay, so this amount of current is enough to produce the maximum flux in the transformer core. Okay, only suppose if you have a full load current is 100 amperes, 2 to 5% means 2 by 100 into 100. So only 2 amperes is required to produce the maximum flux in the transformer core. So beyond that it goes into saturation. Okay, so in addition to that it draws another component of the current, iron losses. Once flux present in the transformer core, there will be iron losses. What are the iron losses? Hysteresis losses, eddy current losses. Okay, so only 2% of the current produces the maximum flux means what about the leakage flux? So leakage flux is very less, only 2%. 2% of the current produces the maximum flux means for 100 amperes, that means leakage flux is very less. That means this is a main field flux. This main field flux constitute leakage flux is very less, very less. You can neglect that, very less. Next I place a load here. Okay, I place a load here. So before placing the load, so whenever the supply voltage is given, current, MMF flux EMF will be induced. So you have EMF E1 and E2. When I place a load here, okay, current will flow. This current causes MMF, MMF causes flux. That flux, suppose this is the main field flux, that the secondary flux produces phi2. So net flux is reduced. Phi minus phi2, net flux is phi minus phi2, net flux is reduced. So net flux is reduced means EMF E1 and E2 is reduced. When supply voltage is constant, E1 is reduced, KVL violates. That means so E1 is reduced, but E1 is reduced. What happens to main flux? But reduces. So according to KVL, the flux in the transformer core remains constant. Okay, so the flux in the transformer core remains constant. Okay, the flux is reducing. That means EMF is reducing. KVL is violating here. Okay, that's why it draws additional component of the current I1 dash such that it produces phi 1. It cancels each other. Okay, so N1 I1 dash equal to N2 I2 dash. So remaining, so 2 amperes of current is producing flux means remaining amperes to cancel these fluxes. Remaining, this I1 dash is 98 amperes. This I1 dash is 98 amperes. So here 90 load current is 90 amperes. This 98 amperes produces flux. This 98 amperes produces flux, cancels each other. Finally, you have a 2 amperes of the flux only here. Okay, that means for this amount of the current, you have a leakage flux is more. Okay, so the inductive, this leakage flux we are considering as a leakage reactance, inductive reactance, leakage reactance. Okay, this leakage flux we are considering leakage reactance in the transformer operation. That means leakage reactance depends upon the load current. First point is here. Leakage current depends upon leakage reactance depends upon load current. That means here the inductive leakage reactance means inductive reactance. So inductive reactance, what you represent in the transformer core, transformer operation is due to the leakage flux. Option D is the answer. Next question. So next question you see here, The primary and secondary windings of a transformer are wound on top of each other. Okay, so LV winding. So let's see here, this is a transformer core. This is a transformer core. This is LV winding, and HV winding is placed on this. So between them you have insulation. Okay, so what is the purpose is to reduce the leakage reactance. What is the purpose here? To reduce leakage reactance. Or how it reduce the leakage reactance means, let's suppose if I consider this transformer, this is a primary winding and this is a secondary winding. Okay, so whenever supply voltage is given, flux is produced, main field flux. Whenever I place a load, you can observe here, it produces a flux. I2 current is flowing, it produces a flux opposite to that of the main flux. Okay, according to Lenz law. Okay, this flux is opposition due to the Lenz law. Okay, net flux is reduced, so we have EMF E2. So this EMF and E2 is reduced, it draws additional component of the current I1 dash, what I have said earlier. Okay, so here you can observe here, this secondary winding produces the flux opposition to the main field flux. Suppose if I place a primary winding here, suppose if I have a primary winding here, it produces a flux like this. If I place secondary winding on this, if I place a secondary winding one over the other, okay, so wound on top of each other. Suppose if I have a primary winding and secondary winding wound, so the primary flux is like this, means secondary flux is in opposition. What happens to at this net leakage flux is reduced, so we are placing one over the other, then the two winding fluxes are opposite. What happens then? Their flux cancels each other, leakage fluxes are cancels each other, then the leakage reactance is very less. Okay, next question. Let's see the next question here. In a transformer fed fundamental frequency voltage source, the source of harmonics is the overload, poor insulation, iron loss and saturation of the core. So if you see here, we know very well about that. You have a saturation nonlinearity and hysteresis nonlinearity, both are there. For example, if you consider here, so transformer core is made up of a silicon steel material, that is CRGO steel. Transformer core is made up of a CRGO steel, silicon steel material. So this is a ferromagnetic material. You have a BH curve of this magnetic material is like this. Okay, so BH curve of this magnetic material is like this. So this is a B and H. So here magnetic field intensity is proportional to the current, flux is proportional to the flux. You can see here, you can observe here, this is x-axis, you have a current, flux is 0, current is there. You see here flux is there, current equal to 0. Here you can see here flux equal to 0, current is there. Similarly here, but you can see a current 0 and current is, when you have a current, flux is 0. When you have a current equal to 0, you have a flux. When you have a current, current and flux equal to 0. So current 0 and flux 0 is not occurring simultaneously, but you observe here, current max and flux max occurring simultaneously. You observe here, current max and flux max occurring simultaneously. Suppose if you consider, so flux to be sinusoidal, flux to induced EMF is sinusoidal, flux to be sinusoidal. So you see here, flux to be sinusoidal, but you observe here, flux max and current max occurring simultaneously, but current 0 and flux 0 is not occurring. Suppose this is a flux 0, current 0 is occurring somewhere here. So current, so you see here, this is the waveform you are getting. Okay, this is a current is a peaky wave, the current is a peaky wave. So from this you get harmonics, so this is a saturation of the core. Answer is saturation of the core. Next question. Let's see the next question here. Which of the following methods of the braking is not commonly used for electrical motors? So we know the braking which you studied in electrical machines is plugging is there, regenerative braking is there, dynamic braking is there. So I don't think friction braking I did not see anywhere. Okay, so this is not there, right? Next question. Let's see the next question. The field flux method of the speed control of DC shunt motor is generally used for which one of the following? You can see here, we know that. So let's see the next question here. The flux method of the speed control of the DC shunt motor is generally used for which of the following? Okay, so if you see here, flux control method, I can have N is proportional to EB by phi. If I reduce the flux, speed increases. If I increase the flux, what happens to speed? Decreases. So what can I do here? I can reduce the flux or I can increase the flux. So if I increase the flux, it goes into deep saturation. If I increase the flux, it goes into saturation. So I don't go for this. If flux increases, speed decreases. Flux increases, speed decreases. It will decreases. But if you increase the flux, what happens? The magnetic material, okay, the silicon material or ferromagnetic material, which is made up of a, so armature is made up of a silicon steel material, it goes into deep saturation. Okay, so that's why I don't prefer flux increasing matter. I prefer for flux decreasing. If flux decreases, what happens? Speed increases. So I have above base speed. So from this, for flux control method, I will get above base speed. So above base speed is there, I can neglect these two options. Okay, now you see N is proportional to, so if you see here, N is proportional to, inversely proportional to phi, torque is proportional to phi. So if flux, what I have to decrease the flux decreases, what happens? Speed increases. What happens to flux decreases? Torque decreases. We know that power equal to 2 pi nt by 60. That implies, if you see here, flux decreases, speed increases, torque decreases. Torque decreases. So if speed increases, torque has to be decreases, means what I have to do here is, this makes power constant. If I make power constant, speed is inversely proportional to torque. Speed increases, torque decreases. Okay, so from this, what you get the answer? Constant horsepower drive. Torque drive is not there. Constant horsepower drive. So it is a constant field flux method is a constant horsepower drive above the base speed. Okay, so field flux method, I am not increasing flux, because I increase the flux, it goes to saturation. Then I decrease the flux. So if I decrease the flux, speed increases. What I know the torque and flux relation. If I decrease the flux, torque will get reduced. But I am seeing the two equations. Speed is increasing, torque decreasing. Then I get constant power drive. Next question. So let's see the another question. A DC motor running at 2000 rpm. DC motor running at a speed 2000 rpm, having a hysteresis loss of 500 watts and eddy current loss is 200 watts. The flux is maintained constant. Carefully observe here, flux is maintained constant. Okay, but speed is reduced to 1000 rpm. At reduced speed, total iron loss is how much? We know that very well about the iron loss. Iron loss equal to eta B max power x into F into V. Okay, where F is the frequency, V is the volume of the core. Eddy current loss equal to K into B max square into F square into T square, where F is the frequency, T is the thickness. Okay, T is the thickness, and you can see here the flux is constant. The flux is constant. The flux is constant means Bmax is constant. So this is constant, this is constant. That is, still see iron loss is proportional to the frequency. Eddy current loss is proportional to the frequency square. So I want the frequency, but he given in speeds. Okay, but I know that speed is 120 f by p. That is, speed is proportional to frequency. Okay, so I don't have another frequency, right? N1 by N2 equal to F1 by F2, that equal to how much? 2000 by 1000, that equal to 2. Okay, F1 by F2 is 2. You substitute this. Iron loss 1 by iron loss 2 equal to F1 by F2. So iron loss 1 is how much? Iron loss 1 is 500 watts. Iron loss 2 I don't know. He has to calculate. F1 by F2 is 2. So iron loss 2 is 250. What is eddy current loss? Eddy current loss here, W1 by W2 equal to 1 by 4. F1 by F2 is 2, that is 4. Okay, that is 4. Eddy current loss 1 is given. How much is given? 200 watts. So eddy current loss equal to 450. So total losses equal to total iron loss at reduced speed is 250 plus 50, that equal to 300. That equal to 300. Okay, let's see the next question. Let's see the next question here. Which of the following graph represents speed torque of the characteristics of the synchronous motor? So we know very well about that. For synchronous motor or AC generator is both are constant speed motor. Both are constant speed motor. From this you observe the graph. As torque increases, if you increase the torque, I am increasing the torque from this is a 0, this is a 0, 1, 2, 3. So I am increasing the torque, the speed at this point, at one point. Suppose this is a 200 rpm. I am increasing the torque. The torque is increasing, but the speed is not going above or below this 200. That means speed is constant. What you understand here from this characteristic, I am increasing the torque, but the speed is at one position. The speed is at x-axis, y-axis is varying. Y-axis is varying, x-axis remains constant. What is x-axis here? Speed. What we require, it is a constant speed, right? Let's see here. I am going through x-axis, speed is varying here, but torque remains constant, but torque is at one position. I don't require this, but in synchronous machine is a constant speed motor. That's why it is a synchronous. Okay, so you can see here, as speed varying, torque is varying. This is not here, this is not also. So option A is the correct answer. Option A is the correct answer. Let's see the next question. The second harmonic component of the power versus load angle characteristic of the synchronous machine operating at terminal voltage having the D axis and reactance. Okay, so we know that power equal to for salient pole machine EV by XD direct axis synchronous reactance sine delta V square by 2 1 by XQ minus 1 by XD into sine 2 delta. So this is a first harmonic, this is a second harmonic. Question, he asked the second harmonic, he does not ask this first harmonic. So V square by 2 into 1 by XQ minus XD into sine delta. So option B is the correct answer. So you can neglect this cos 2 delta, check it for this. So you don't get here minus here, so this is wrong. V square by 2 1 by XQ minus XD into sine 2 delta is the answer. Next question. So let's see the next question. The reversing of the three-phase induction motor is achieved by. So it is a star delta starter is a for starting, DOL for starting, auto transformer for starting. I can interchange the supply line, then I get the reverse of the three-phase induction motor. So option D is the correct answer. Next question. So let's see the next question. A 500 horsepower 6-pole 3-phase 440 volts 50 Hz induction motor has a speed of 950 rpm on full load. The full load slip and the number of cycles of the rotor voltage makes per minute will be respectively. Let's see the first full load slip. What is full load slip? Slip equal to ns minus nr by ns. Okay, so rotor speed is given 950. So if it is 950 means automatically you can check it 1000 rpm. Let's see here, 120 into 50 by 620 is 1000. So near to the 950 synchronous speed is 1000. So 1000 minus 950 is 50 by 1000 into 100. He is asked in percent. You see here, they asked in percentage. So slip is 5%. So I can neglect this answer, I can neglect this answer. So I want to check whether C and D options are correct. Number of cycles of the rotor voltage. He asked that rotor frequency, voltage per minute. So he asked that number of cycles per rotor voltage makes per minute. Number of cycles of the rotor makes per minute. So we know that cycles per second. Cycles per second is a Hz. Cycles per second is a Hz. Okay. So Fr equal to S into F. What is the S here? 5 into 100. Slip is 100. Slip is 5%. 5 by 100 into frequency is 50. 2.5. This is the rotor frequency, but here the question clearly observe number of cycles voltage makes per minute. He asked in that way. Okay, so this is what is it here, 2.5. This is 2.5 Hz. This is 2.5 Hz or 2.5 cycles per second. He asked in 2.5 cycles per minute. Cycles per minute. 1 minute equal to 60 second. So 1 second equal to 1 by 60 minute. So I want to multiply with into 60. Then I get the answer. 25 by 10 into 60. 10, 6, 6, 5, 30. 6, 2, 12 through 15. So 150 is the answer. So I can wrong it. I can write it. This is the answer. Next question. So let's see the next question. A starting torque of 18 Newton meter is developed in induction motor by an auto transformer starter with a tapping of 30%. The tapping of the auto transformer at 60% is how much? So we know very well about that. The starting torque of auto transformer with tappings is proportional to the x square. So x square by x square. So 1 by 1. Starting torque is how much? 80 Newton meter. I want to find starting. X square is how much? 30% is tapping. 0.3 into 0.3. So this is 0.6 into 0.6. So this is 2 and this is 2. So 4 eighths 320 is the answer. Starting torque is 320 Newton meter is the answer. Next question. So let's see the next question. If a slip ring induction motor, if the rotor resistance increases, what happens? So we know very well about the starting torque. He is given all about the starting torque and efficiency. Starting torque, efficiency, starting torque. So we know that starting torque is proportional to the resistance. If resistance increases, starting torque increases. So increases, okay, and I can neglect these options. So if resistance increases, what happens? I square R2 losses increases. What happens? This efficiency decreases. So efficiency decreases, efficiency increases. So I can neglect this option. Option C is the correct answer. Next question. So let's see the next question here. if socket is made in the iron core of a single phase transformer as shown in the figure, when secondary terminals open, it result in the so you don't bother about that. So here EMF E1 is induced, here E2 EMF is induced, whether it is a cut. What happens? Flux in the transformer core remains constant. Flux in the transformer core is remain constant. Flux equal to MMF by reluctance. Okay, so I know that flux in the transformer core is constant. Okay, so here air gap is there, air gap is more. What happens? Reluctance is more. If reluctance is more, what happens? N into I, MMF is N into I, turns constant. What happens? Current increases. So excessively large current drawn by the primary. So no voltage across circuit due to discontinuity. No, yes, there is a voltage. This is a wrong option. Yes, there is a voltage. No appreciable changes in the yes, appreciable changes in the transformer. No transformer action primary. This is wrong and this is wrong. Okay, so if you have open, also there will be induced EMF there, but only that there will be excessive large current in the primary. Similarly, induction motor. Suppose if you see here induction motor, this is a stator and this is a rotor. Here air gap is there. It draws magnetizing component of current is 20 to 30% of the full load current. 20 to 30% of the full load current. Kindly note it. If it have a cut also, you have an EMF induced. Okay, transformer action will be takes place. Primary current will greatly increased. Primary current will greatly increased. Next question. So let's see the next question here. A synchronous motor is operating at a constant load while excitation is adjusted to give an unity power factor current. If excitation is now increased, what happens to power factor? So we know that V and inverted V curves. So if I have field current here, IA here, so the IA current varies like this. Okay, so this is a normal excitation. Okay, so if you see here, this is power factor. So in synchronous motor, over excitation, this is over excitation, this is under excitation. So over excitation leads to leading power factor, under excitation leads to lagging power factor, whereas in alternator, this is a lagging power factor, this is a leading power factor. There is no change in the V and inverted V curves. Okay, so if he said that the question you can see here, when excitation is adjusted to give a unity power factor, if the excitation is now increased, what happens to power factor? Power factor is decreasing. He does not give in decreased. Okay, power factor is decreasing. Operates at leading power factor. If it is an alternator, it will be lagging. If it is an alternator, it will be leading. If it is a motor, it is a leading. Okay, right. Next question. Let's see the next question here. A 220 by 115 volts 20. Let's see. The question is given. A 220 by 115 eddy current loss. 220 by 115. How much is frequency? 25 Hz. Eddy current loss of 100 watts, which is half of the no load loss at the applied voltage. What are the no load losses? Iron losses. So that equal to eddy current loss is half of the no load loss. What is the no load loss? We know that iron loss. That is iron loss. Eddy current loss is 100 watts. That is iron loss is 200 watts. Iron loss is 200 watts. That is hysteresis loss is 100 watts. Eddy current loss is 100 watts. This is first condition given. When transformer primary is connected to the 440 by 50 Hz, when it is connected to the 440, 50 Hz. So when this type of questions is given, first you check V by F, flux is remains constant, that is V by F remains constant or not. So first initially 220 by 225, second it is given 440 by 50, 225 is 220, so 220 by 25. So that is V by F remains constant. V by F remains constant. So hysteresis loss is proportional to the frequency. If Bmax is V by F constant means Bmax is constant. Okay. So we know that formula, hysteresis loss equal to eta Bmax power x into F into V. So Bmax constant, hysteresis loss is proportional to frequency, eddy current loss equal to K into Bmax square F square T square. So Bmax square constant. So eddy current loss is proportional to frequency square. So hysteresis loss 1 by hysteresis loss 2, that equal to F1 how much? 25 by 50. This is how much hysteresis loss? 100. So what is eddy current loss? Hysteresis loss equal to 25 2s, that equal to 200. So what happens to eddy current? So you see eddy current loss divided F square. So 25 by 50 whole square, that equal to 1 by 4. Eddy current loss equal to 400. So this is 400, this is 200, that equal to 600. Answer is 600 watts here. Hope you understand the solution. Next question. So let's see the next question here. A three-phase induction motor is drawing a current of 30 amperes at a point power factor lag from a three-phase mains at a certain load. Due to fault, a line gets opened. Now the current on this single phasing when power factor is 0.6 lag. Okay, so he said that if one line is open, it operates as a single phase induction motor. So the initially load is balanced, now it is unbalanced. So I want to express it in symmetrical quantities, that is not given something here, data is not given. Let whatever the power input before, what you see here, this is the induction motor, three-phase induction motor given. Before input power has something. Now due to fault, one line is open. So it is not given about symmetrical quantities and symmetrical quantities, but one thing we know that if at all one line is opened, the power input to the motor remains same. It does not change. So this motor input power is same. Okay, the power remains constant if you think in that way. Or the mechanical power developed here. So he given the rating of the machine, that power rating remains constant. Let power, what is the power? So input power or output power. This mechanical power rating remains constant. Okay, we have motor and generator. Okay, we have motor and generator. So if you see here, the rating power is constant. So what is the power will come? Root 3 VL. What is in before single phasing? VL into 30 into 0.8. The same power, root 3 into VL into I into 0.6. It will come root 3. It does not come into root 3 after single phasing. After single phasing, VL into I into 0.6. Okay, this VL cancel. Point cancel. 6 5s. Okay, 5 8s 40. That equal to 40 into root 3. Current equal to 40 into root 3 is the answer. Okay, so the mechanical, what is the rating power is of the machine is constant. The rating of the power is constant. Okay, so we don't change that. So that remains constant. If you equal it, you get the answer. Next question. So let's see this next question. When speed becomes more than the synchronous speed during hunting, damper bars develop. Okay, so damper bars, if you see here, in synchronous machines, damper bars to eliminate hunting. Damper bars to eliminate hunting. If you see here, this is a salient pole machine. So damper bars are placed here. Okay, when speed becomes more than synchronous speed, so the damper bars come as a squirrel cage induction motor. Squirrel cage induction motor. Okay, so induction motor torque will develop. Induction motor torque will develop. Sorry, speed is more than synchronous speed. Speed is more than synchronous speed. So it has to develop opposition torque. It has to develop opposition torque. Induction generator torque will develop. Induction generator will torque, because opposition torque is developed in induction generator. Okay, then reduce the speed and comes to synchronous speed. Okay, so let's see some more questions in next video. Thank you.